than it is.
There's no trash.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to My Chamber TV, getting you all the information of the local chambers that we can. Woo! That was a mouthful.
Do you know where you are and who the chamber is today?
Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce.
Oh my gosh, you're so good.
She's so good.
And do you know who I am today?
Jean Hungiville.
Oh, wonderful.
And this is Dennise.
He's Ondina, who is with Illumina Learning Center and one of my favorite members.
So I asked her before we got started that, can you help old white guys that are just losing their memory? She goes, we can help anybody. I'm like, I need a lot of help. Just saying.
Losing your memory.
That's it. Oh, it is. That's horrible. So anyway, welcome to My Chamber TV. I'm not going to waste any more time because we're going to get right into this. This guest has got absolutely the most phenomenal thing in the world when it comes to education. Anytime that we can help our children learn, especially our special needs children learn,
yes.
I'm all in. You'll have 100% of support from me always. So if you ever need anything, I'm saying this on camera, you ever need anything from us, you just call us and we'll take care of you.
Thank you very much. That means a lot.
So let's talk about it.
I know.
Yes.
It's fantastic. It just makes me smile when I hear the story and how it came about and also what you do.
So, so our company is Illumina Learning Center, and we officially opened this year in a yellow, almost historic home in Tarpon,
It's
which
bright
we
and
love.
cheery and
Yes,
front
it's
porch.
I think it's the only yellow house in the
doing
whole
the ribbon
street.
cutting was just like, here we are.
Which house?
It's just north of the chamber on the other side of the street. Tell me the address.
It's 540 North Pinellas, right next to.
Oh, I know exactly what that's at. That is, Brad's very colorful.
Oh yes,
Very, very colorful.
very cheery.
Very cheery.
Yes,
I like it. But anyway, let's talk about it.
Of course. So, so we always, my husband and I always planned on opening a learning center once we retired. It just happened a little sooner than we expected. Our son Ian had I don't want to start the story here, but this is where it starts, and I think it's important to mention it. So in 2013, he suffered a severe brain injury as a result of an ATV accident.
Oh, okay.
At the time, I was a school principal in Pasco, in a public school serving children in elementary and middle school. And needless to say, I became a caregiver from that day to the next. And 11 surgeries later and a lot of rehabilitation, we came to a point where Ian was becoming more independent.
That's great.
And we decided to, let's go back to the drawing board. You know, where do we go next? Do I go back to school and do what I've always done, or do we start the learning center? And it was a great fit, a great time to make that decision. And we started this in a very small 2-office suite nearby the place we're now.
Okay.
And we grew within the year to our capacity at that suite. And
Within the year?
Yeah,
Wow.
we moved to our own place. And we have 3 tutors right now. We serve kids kindergarten to 12th grade, all subject areas, but specifically, we specialize in math and reading and writing. We also do SAT and ACT prep. So we do preparation services. Kids that are going to college that need a little bit of counseling as to what are the next steps, how to create a resume, how to prepare, just to leave the nest and go fly on their own. I think that's a big deal.
That's almost like coaching.
Yes, exactly. So we offer academic coaching.
Right. And so you went from this little 2-office space to a bigger place, but not only did you go there, because I've heard this, you're actually national, because your parents have talked to other parents, and the other parents are like, well, I want that. And,
yes.
And the whole coronavirus thing has put everybody online, so you just absorbed it and embraced it and said, hey, now we can do this anywhere.
So we serve children locally, and now that we are online, I would say right now we're set up at 75% online, and then we do see some children at the center. We do services for everyone, everywhere in the world. So it's a great thing to affect lives that way.
It is.
And some children work better one-on-one, and some children are able to adapt to doing it online. when we were doing your open house and the ribbon cutting, I was impressed with the fact that each of the rooms is set up, and you had a young adult, a child, of different ages in each one, talking about what they did in this room and why that room was important.
Right.
And you could see the pride that this is my room, this is where I learn, this is where I'm growing.
Well,
It was great.
Thank you for bringing that up, because we actually decided, we gave a great thought to the design of the whole concept. We wanted it to feel like a place where it wasn't school after school, but was kind of a homeschool environment. So you go in and the vibe is very industrial and very productive, very encouraging. We have murals and paintings. We have a multi-purpose room where we also do Socratic dialogue for novels. We want our kids to think about literature in different ways. We have teachers that come in and teach yoga. So, we have this big area where it lends to many different things, not just the core academic subjects.
And there's a kitchen in the center, which gives it that homey feel as well.
Yes.
So, and all the rooms are out around it, and they flow very nicely.
Right.
Well thought out.
Thank you.
That type of child needs that.
Right.
So you weren't. I would love to say everybody's aesthetic and they go, oh, it's got to look pretty, but I understand the reasoning behind that, because it's a flow.
We wanted movement.
Right.
We wanted movement, and like you said before, some of our students work really well one-on-one, and some others they need that movement from one place to the other, and also the challenge of different activities within the same realm of the subject area. So we provide that.
Okay.
It's every part of the instruction is tailored to the child's needs. We're evidence-based. Most of our students actually improve 6 to 1 to 2 years grade level in just 6 months to 12 months of instruction.
That one-on-one really makes the difference.
Yes, it does.
Well, it's huge. Well, but you still have the people that are doing it online as well, correct?
Right, both, correct. So we have, the whole setup, and usually our sessions are an hour long. And we make it really varied, where we have interactive, we have actually the lesson format part of it, and also our students, all of them, actually take home some type of follow-up activity, because what we want to make sure is that they have mastered the subject area. We are kind of the stepping stone. We fill in the gaps so that they're able to go back to school and be successful.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
I wish I'd had that when my son was being a handful when he was in high school, because he needed to have somebody other than his mother helping him with homework. And there was the Sylvan Learning Center, which was not quite what he needed. It was just the set approach. And your customized approach would have been so perfect.
I think everybody fits a different, service provider. I think we offer something quite unique, because, again, the tailored part of instruction, in other places that also do a terrific job, the scope is 4 students to 1 teacher. So we are very, very much individualized in that sense.
Okay, so you touched on it really quickly, and I'm not trying to change directions here, but if this is not something you just decided one day, hey, I'm going to open a school, you actually have that background to be able to make this function
20
correctly.
years.
20 years. Let's talk about that just really quick. We got about 4 or 5 minutes left.
So 20 years, I've been an educator most of my life, and then post becoming a teacher, I did my master's in school guidance counseling. That's how I can blend both the coaching as well as the academic instruction. And I was lucky to lead one of the schools that was 5th to 8th, depending if you look at reading or math, in the whole state. So as a public school administrator, I did work in a lot of different programs that help children with needs and those that needed just a little bit to kind of make it to the next grade level.
See, I love the fact that she worked in it, she saw the need, she got it, and then she implemented, right?
Yes.
So it's not
And the planning took several years, though.
Yeah.
It did get accelerated because of the situation, but you had thought about what this need was and have fulfilled it.
I do think experience is critical. I think that I can see the reason why I became a teacher, not just now because I am also a caregiver of my son, but I'm doing what I'm doing. So I think it all goes back to full circle. Oh, no wonder I became a teacher. This is why.
See, there's all a reason for everything.
Right.
Now obviously the school is multilingual.
Yes.
And so you can work with, no, so do you have a language you don't work with, or?
So we do work with a lot of second language learners, and we use the same exact curriculum. As the curriculum actually adapted and evidence-based for children that speak different languages. Actually, right now we have one student that just came from Venezuela, doesn't speak any English whatsoever, and he's such a great, student. He's made huge improvement. One of the first things we did was to label everything in our house. We call it the schoolhouse, and we would have conversations, of open the window and close the door, and then aside from that, the reading part. So right now he's just starting to spell, formulate sentences in English, and the parents are very happy, and he feels very confident. I think it's really hard to start school mid-semester with everybody talking a different language.
Right.
So we
especially
also
mid-semester.
we also work with the students in learning to adapt, to those changes.
Now, do you by any chance go the other way? So you have an English student that needs a language?
In what regards?
Well, so say I speak English, but I
Yes.
want to learn to speak Spanish or.
Well, that's a great idea. We don't do that yet, but we
Oh.
would definitely be open to do something like
See,
that. That sounds.
I'm actually going to
terrific.
I'm starting Babbel.
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
have
familiar with them. Yeah, mine.
Yeah,
I
so-
had heard the advertisements for that.
I figure
so.
why not? It's free for the first one. And
Hey, you can join the team.
you do not want me teaching kids. They'll go home. Mr. John said I could do this. Oh no, you cannot. Just saying. So how do we get a hold of you?
So we are at 540 North Pinellas Avenue, Illumina Learning Center, and you can also call us at 727-204-2723, or the number on, I don't know if the number is on the screen.
Oh yeah, it's
but-
been up
It's
there.
up there
Okay,
the entire
so
time? Yes.
that number as well. And online, illuminalearningcenter.com. There's a lot of information there about our services, about what we do. We're actually in the process of uploading some pictures of our classrooms so parents can get a
that'll be
tour
great.
of our place without actually having to visit. And we're just really thrilled to be able to serve the community and the students and the schools. We have services in schools. We also visit schools during the day.
Oh, really?
And students come to us at the center as well. So there's many different ways of accessing our services in the community.
That's awesome. I'm glad you brought this person in.
I know. She's one of my favorites because.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the food and all that kind of stuff.
But she does a great service. And her heart is in this. And not only is her heart and passion in it, but she's got the business plan and all of that side of it laid out, working, ready to go. I remember the first time you came in and you and your husband sat down and talked to me about your idea. I was blown away because you talked to me briefly on the phone, and I thought, okay, we'll sit down. And I was already in my head thinking, all right, here's where she's going to need to get some resources. You had done it all, and I'm so happy for you.
So
Thank
it's
you
been
for
a learning
joining us.
process.
I hate
Thank
to be
you.
that guy, but we're out of time, so we'll be right
Thank
back.
you
Go
for
top
inviting
off
me.
your tea and coffee and come back, and we'll have our next guest right after this.
Roll it.
Hey everybody, we are back, My Chamber TV, Tarpon Springs edition. I'm going to start calling them the editions. 'Cause
The
I think it's kind of
editions.
cooler.
Okay.
So we're back here with James.
Which chapter?
Tarpon Springs.
No, but it's chapter 37.
You know what? From next month, we will have a chapter number.
Yes, because
Episode 5.
do you realize that coming up in July it'll be 2 years that we've been doing this.
That's awesome. Well, we've been doing My Chamber TV for almost 7 years now.
I know, but I've just passed my
Good to have
third year.
Tarpon back.
But I needed to
Yeah.
get everything stabilized that first year before we got going again.
Yeah,
But yeah,
true.
we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary in July.
Hey, so do you like to eat?
Oh my
I love to eat.
goodness.
I'm an eater.
Food. And
Total eater, total foodie. I don't know if I call myself a foodie. It's more like a gorger. That's what I am.
well, if you're a gorger, do you know who you need to know? Let me introduce you to James Ponton.
James.
Ponton.
Ponton.
Yes.
You know, oh, we got a. Oh, did I hear
Ah.
that? Did I hear a doo doo?
You did, but it was on my iPad and my phone's turned off. No, I'm not paying
Okay.
you $20 for that.
Fine.
Everybody be my witness. It was not ringing. It was a tickler.
It was a tickler. So you're an eater,
I
and
am.
actually you actually show people how to eat better.
I do.
In the way
I
that's the way I look at it, because we were talking earlier.
Well,
and I'm
not
like,
healthier, but
I didn't say
better.
I didn't say healthier. I said better. So the more food, the better. So let's talk about EAT Pinellas.
Yeah, so EAT Pinellas came from me being in the restaurant industry for about 18 years. From waiting tables to being a delivery driver to owning a restaurant. After all that time, spending money on different traditional advertising and
Right.
kind of waiting to see what would happen with it.
Yep.
I was always the type of person that tried everything because I figured something may work better than something else.
Throw the spaghetti against the wall. If it sticks, it's
see,
good.
Yeah.
See what sticks, and then I waste a lot of money doing that, like most
Yeah.
people do.
And yeah, exactly.
And you just never know. And depending on the type of restaurant you're in, too, different things work differently, too, don't they?
Right.
Exactly. So I had 2 kids. My daughter was born prematurely, 2 pounds 7 ounces.
Ooh.
Oh,
So
Wow.
when something like that happens, you kind of reevaluate
Yep.
what you're doing in life.
yes.
My wife didn't like me being away from home 90 to 100 hours a week at the restaurant.
Oh, I know, and that's what the business is all
Yeah,
about.
so we decided that we wanted to do something to give back to the community that we lived in, but also make an income as well.
Right.
So that's how we started EAT Pinellas. EAT Pinellas is a members-only dining club. We got a bunch of different aspects of it.
Okay.
For Pinellas County. You save up to 20% each time you dine at one of the restaurants in our network.
Do you
can
think
pay-
there's a few restaurants in Pinellas County?
Oh, there's a
Good
couple.
Heavens.
Yeah.
There's
You've got
definitely a couple.
How many in your network already?
Right now we're at about 125 restaurants in our network.
Wow.
And how old is this? It's
Well,
not,
we're launching on June 1st officially.
I know. And so they've already got 150 some restaurants.
That,
I
okay,
think
to
this
see
is
that
amazing.
right there in itself is amazing because
Yeah.
I've been in Florida for now 24 years, lived in Tarpon Springs for 18 of those years, and then up in Pasco here in Newport Richey, and starting a new business and getting people on in the startup of something is normally the hardest thing you'll ever do.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people want to jump on the bandwagon after it started, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm on this app, and this is getting business drawn to me." But to get that many
Yeah.
businesses in before you even officially launch, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, that's big kudos to
Well,
you.
with him coming from an advertising background, knowing how to market it, but
Right.
also coming from the industry,
Right.
that gives you what they call street cred because you can walk in, talk to them,
Right.
and understand it.
And you know what? I'm the type of person, I can't take credit for everything. I've got a salesperson, Ryan, that works with me that he's interacted with every single one of these restaurants.
Right.
I'm a little more behind the scenes, the technical part of it. But I think it comes down to we wanted to create something for a restaurant owner that was simple. There are so
Okay.
many different platforms out there where you have to check your numbers. You got to see what your ROI is. With EAT Pinellas, we've made it so simple that when a customer walks in and they show you their member card, you know exactly where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to track this or track that. You don't have to see how many people are
And they just
visiting,
go,
because what we've tried to do is eliminate paying big corporations big money for advertising.
There you go.
A lot of the delivery apps are necessary in times like this,
sure.
but then also, they take a lot of money from the restaurant owner and then even the customers.
Right.
Because it's not free, but
It-
then they have to
it's-
overhead as well.
Exactly. Overhead, delivery fees, stuff like that. What we want to do is we want to have the restaurant owners say, hey, we love our community, we love our customers, Instead of giving that to these big corporations, let's give that back to the customer.
How does this work?
Yeah.
So
I'm
basically, you go to our website, eatpinellas.com. You become a member. Once you become a member, you'll download our app.
Does it cost to become a member?
It does.
How
Costs
much?
$34.99 a year.
Oh, 34.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Hold on. A year, not a month?
A year.
That's incredible.
It's about $2.90 a month.
Wow.
We figured out that the
my
average
money.
consumer spends about $200 to $250 a month dining out
Yes, we do.
individually.
If not more.
And this
So-
time, yes, we've done a lot more recently.
So as a family, that increases significantly. So the individual will save using, Eat Pinellas and dining at our network of restaurants. We'll save about $400 to $500 a year as an individual. When you add that up to a family, or my family, we eat out a lot. We're busy. My wife works a lot. We may save $2,000 to $3,000 next year.
Yeah, I can't go to any restaurant with my family and leave there without it, but the bill being $150.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think one of the reasons that the restaurants, it's been easier to get them on board
Yep.
is because the restaurants that we're going after, they know the value of advertising.
Right.
They know the value of social media, and they know that our members are going to promote their business. Your average social media post gets seen by about 200 people.
Yep.
So if you have our members in daily, you're going to get a lot of reach.
So if I'm a member of Eat Pinellas, all right, I sign up, I get my card.
Well, first,
Okay.
what we want to encourage everybody to do is download the app first.
Okay.
Because if we don't have restaurants in the area, it's not really going to work for you.
Oh,
So we want you to go on there and look and see the restaurants in your area. Because
Okay.
we know that once you download the app, that's when you're going to want to become a member. Because you're going to see some of the places that you dine at already, and then you're going to see places that you've always wanted to try. But, we didn't even get into the best part.
Let's get into the best part.
The best part is, again, I talked about my daughter being premature and us wanting to give back.
Right.
So one of the things that we decided to do is for every new member or renewed membership every year, we're donating to one of our nonprofit partners to feed somebody in Pinellas County for an entire day.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
That
pretty
is.
cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to put you on the spot because I did it earlier.
Okay.
So who are some of the food banks that you're giving back to?
So we've got partners all the way from the Palm Harbor Tarpon area with Feast Food Pantry in Palm Harbor, all the way down to St. Pete, St. Jerome Ministries down there. We've got Harbor Dish in Safety Harbor, Dunedin Cares in Dunedin.
Oh, nice.
We got St. Vincent de Paul in Clearwater. So we kind of have every part of Pinellas gets touched with the organizations that we've partnered up with. So, and the best part about it is it gives the organizations a way to raise money without just getting on the phone and calling and saying, hey, we need
Yes.
money. It gives them the ability to promote Eat Pinellas, but also promote the community as
Right.
well.
And people are eating to support feeding someone else as well.
Yeah, it's a small way to give back. I was
it's great.
telling somebody about the program the other day, the business model, and I was telling them, our goal is to help increase revenue, new customers for restaurants, save time and money for our members, and then also help the community by, feeding people that are in need right here. So we kind of came up with a slogan, we're the company that helps. There's no aspect of it
Right.
where, somebody's not being helped in some sort of way or benefiting in some sort of way.
So if I am a member, do I get a discount when I go to a restaurant, or what incentivizes me to go to a restaurant?
So basically,
Other
you'll look on our app. You have the ability to look in your local city, or if you're traveling to St. Pete or Clearwater, and see the restaurants that are on there. We have a map function so you can see what's near you.
Oh, neat.
See the different discounts that they're offering our members. Another one of the features that we have is a daily deal section. In the daily deal section, it gives the restaurant owner the ability to push out different deals throughout the day, or they can schedule them for, the month, the year, however they may want to do it. The idea is to get members in during their slow times.
Right.
Increase
Okay.
the revenue when it's slow, but it also gives the member the ability to get a great deal at a last minute price.
What's neat, too, is we're coming into the slow season. The 1st of June, which is your launched, is typically when the snowbirds have gone home and we are waiting
Isn't
for...
that amazing that we have to say that? Because
Yeah.
because normally summertime for everywhere else is the busy time.
I know.
For us, nope, it's our slow time. People are like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, summer for us is not good.
Yeah, but it's also people come
amazing.
on vacation, but it's not like people that are here for
Right.
months on end in the wintertime.
Yep.
Exactly. And
So
with
this
the-
is perfect timing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and with the pandemic, it's been tough, but I think our community here is very resilient.
Oh.
We had 125 companies signed up with us in February. We obviously delayed our launch because of the pandemic. We wanted to make sure the restaurants were,
Right.
focused on what they were doing, making sure everything was clean. And in that time, I'm sure I've seen some restaurants have gone out of business, but out of those 125 restaurants from February, we lost 3 restaurants.
Okay.
That's amazing.
So
That
it
is-
kind of shows that our community is really resilient in terms of coming together, whether they're buying gift cards during this time because they're afraid to go out, or they're getting delivery, whatever it may be. We're starting to see, people get back out and dine.
Do you have any plans to expand to Pasco?
We do, but I can't tell you about
See,
that.
so I'm looking at the card and I'm
If
thinking
he-
to myself,
if he-
EP squared.
Oh,
So it's
EP squared.
Pinellas Pasco. So you go EP and add the 2, so it's EP2.
Oh,
we do
okay.
have plans to expand. We're taking it
Attaboy.
slow.
You got to walk before you can run.
We're
You got to
ta-
crawl before you can
He's
walk.
got to launch in 1st of June
I know,
first.
but me,
Yeah.
I'm a big picture guy. I've always been that way.
No,
so.
we're definitely taking it slow. We want to make sure, I'm sure there'll be glitches in our platform like there are with anything when it first launches. But again, we've tried to make it so simple that the restaurant owner can update whatever they want
Right.
by their phone within a minute. And, the
Like a
idea
tap-
is easy.
You get a local tap room and they can push out when it rains, it pours.
Oh, yes. It's
So
real-
that
I mean,
way,
just
so
good
that way,
stuff.
just a little cool that they can pop those out
Yeah,
real quick
yeah.
in the app and give
Yeah.
you a notification. Oh, hey,
Yep. One of the first things he did right after the first of the year is come in and we were talking about this concept. And I was listening to this thinking, this is genius.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is really
I like it.
very
I
cool.
I don't know of, and I'm not saying there aren't any, but I know locally I haven't been able to find a platform where, if we're hungry and we say, okay, what do we want tonight? We can go on and we can see the specials from restaurants all over
Right,
in
right.
our area
Right.
in one place without getting on the phone and calling saying, what do you
Yeah.
have tonight? What's
You're
this?
shopping and you say, okay, I want to get
okay,
something to eat.
it's time for me to be that guy again.
That
so,
guy
hey,
again.
you know what? We
What?
got 10 seconds left, but really quick, we've had
Oh,
this
go so
information
fast.
up the whole time. Go sign up, become an EAT Pinellas member,
Yes.
and help this man and help the restaurants. And hey, we'll be right back with some more great guests. Stay tuned. All right, so you know what? If you're hungry, now you know the guy to go see at EAT Pinellas,
I'm
right?
just, it's one of those things where now that he's given me an ambassador card and
Oh,
said,
no.
go to work, I'm going to run up and down Pinellas County eating I'm going to come in here and you're going to have to get a bigger chair for me.
I'll do that. I don't think that'll ever happen because I sometimes want to say you need to eat a pizza, but that's okay. That's just me.
Well,
anyway,
I'm
I
going
love
to.
Gene. I love Gene to death. Anyway, so we have our next guest. Go ahead. This is cool. I know exactly where they even put the spot in whole 9 yards, and I'm just blown away that you were able to build
Well,
there. So
everybody has been watching the apartments go up in Tarpon Springs,
Yeah.
and they're gorgeous. Yvonne Shea is the manager for Icaria on Pinellas, and I have been mispronouncing it because Icaria is the island, but tell us where this name came from.
Yes.
Sure,
And
absolutely,
what the
Jean.
correct pronunciation is, because this is such an iconic place.
It really is. It's actually pronounced Icaria. That is an island in Greece, which means longevity. So it's known that people actually live to be about 115 years old.
Oh my.
Okay, old guy, you can go there
I could go somewhere finally.
and be a kid again.
Be a kid again. I'll be the youngest one there. Not really.
And if you guys seen the island, it's so beautiful. It's blue waters. So it makes sense that you can go there and enjoy life. And we're trying to recreate that here at Icaria. So we've Americanized it. We dropped the K at the C, so it is Icaria on Pinellas.
Okay.
And we've been pre-leasing now for the last couple of months, granted with the pandemic and everything going on.
Yes,
But we're a little over 11% pre-leased.
No kidding. How many units total?
We have 236 apartments altogether, and that's 5 buildings as well.
Wow.
And one of the buildings has an elevator, correct?
2 elevators,
2
actually.
elevators.
Yep.
Okay.
Building 1, that's going to be our largest building there, has the 2 elevators, also the 24-hour fitness center. It also has the poolside yoga lawn right out front as well.
Right there.
Little side yoga.
Okay, long. And what does it overlook to besides the
Absolutely.
pool?
Pinellas Trail.
It's so amazing.
We got gorgeous views. All you can see is greenery from the back of some of those apartments there. And it's going to be, the residents are going to really love it.
When we had the pleasure, before you came on board, but you were in the works, I had the pleasure of doing a hard hat tour with some of my board members, and the quality of what we were seeing, they were just putting the cabinets up and they were starting to put in fixtures, very clean, modern lines to the fixtures and the light fixtures and the faucets, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I was looking at some of the cabinets that were going up, and then being able to come back then about a couple of months later to see some of it. And the size, the way it's laid out, just, I mean, you've got multiple layouts there, so it fits all kinds of roommate situations or family situations.
So I was getting ready to ask, and so this is open to everybody, or is
Absolutely.
it 55 and up?
Anyone who qualifies for the apartment can definitely lease with us. So we are not age restricted or income restricted. Again, we lease to everybody.
That's
it's,
awesome.
And it's market rate, so there's not subsidized. There's been a lot of questions, is there going to be having subsidized in there? No, not at all. It's market rate because Tarpon has really needed this.
Yes.
When I moved to Tarpon 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I ended up having to rent in Palm Harbor over at Boot Ranch because there was nothing that was immediately available, and it was during the snowbird season, and there were no.
You can't get anything at Snowbirds.
And this really, I would have loved to have been 5 minutes from work, but
Right.
instead I was half an hour away.
Right.
But talk a little bit about the floor plans. I love them.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yes. It's, again, something that Tarpon definitely has needed. Brand new. They all have almost the 10-foot ceilings, stainless steel appliances. We have the vinyl flooring throughout the living and the dining. You actually have a nice row tile in the restroom areas, and the bedrooms are carpeted. The apartments are very well insulated as well. And they come with the ceiling fans, all of the designer decor, light fixtures. And
They are designer.
They
yes,
are.
that's what word I was searching for. That, yes.
So we won't have a clogging problem. I love that commercial, by the way. So it's good insulation, solid.
It is. It really is. And, you know, just the quality of the apartments altogether that DDA development has established here are going to be of the best quality in Tarpon Springs.
That is very cool.
Yes, you're not going to hear your neighbors next door
Clogging upstairs.
or clogging overhead, because as we did that tour, that initial one, you could see up through where they were. I mean, how it was built. They are built like a New York City high-rise, in that it's got really thick between.
How
them.
many levels?
We have 3 stories on 4 of the buildings, and on the 5th building, it's going to be 4 stories with the 2 elevators.
Nice.
Yeah, and yes, you're not going to be worrying up and
Hurricane
down.
rated is, that's why that's a big
Absolutely.
deal.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so you talk a little bit about the amenities.
Sure, absolutely. We're looking at resort-style pool.
Neat.
A barbecue grill area. We'll have a clubhouse that's open 24 hours with coffee service. We have garages on site for lease. We have storage units available. We also are going to have our own bikes with our logo on it that the residents can check out for free
Oh, how cool
and
is
jump
that?
right onto the trail. So,
That is cool.
Yes.
Can I just like come visit every now and then? You know, it's like I'm just here to be friendly.
When was looking at this, and I thought, this would make sense if I were a snowbird, and I wanted a place to come down for 3 or 4 months. Lease it for a year. Because the rents are very reasonable.
That's my next question.
They are.
So
Yep.
what are we talking about price-wise?
Sure,
What's the
absolutely.
price?
We have done intense market study researches throughout all of Pinellas County, and we're starting our 1 bedrooms anywhere in the $1,200 price range, and our 3 bedrooms go on up to about the $1,800 price range. So anywhere in between
Great
there.
space.
That's
Reasonably priced.
that's really good.
For a brand new product. Yep, absolutely.
Yep, and it's right there on the Pinellas Trail. It's right there. You can walk to Winn-Dixie. You can walk to downtown or bicycle to downtown.
Absolutely.
Very easy to do.
Yep.
I mean, this is where I would have lived
How
if I
many
had
square
lived up there.
feet? What's
The
it-
apartments, yep.
Yes.
They start at about 718 square feet for the 1 bedrooms, and our 3 bedrooms go on up to 1309. So
That's
it's like
big.
a little
That's a nice
house.
floor. That's a nice layout.
It definitely is.
Oh, now, is it all single level or is it two?
They are single level
Single
homes.
But no, you think about this. If you want a 2-bedroom and you're going to come down, and you may want to come down in the month of October, and then you go back for the holidays, and then you come back down in January
Yep.
and stay until, and then you can, have somebody come and visit, but you've got it for the year.
Yeah.
And that's a lot less expensive than buying a condo and having a condo fee and having the maintenance because
Absolutely.
somebody else takes care of this.
That's true. Yeah.
That was the first thing that hit me
Well, I was thinking I could rent 2 side by side. What a great studio space. 10-foot ceiling. No, I'm just kidding.
it's not zoned commercial, darling.
Who said anything about commercial? I don't know what you're talking about.
We're also green certified.
Oh, neat.
And we are a non-smoking community, blue certified on that as well.
Wow.
So they've really taken their time to make sure that this product that we're going to offer, Tarpon Springs, is state of the art.
That is absolutely cool.
It is. And one of the things that impressed me,
Does that include, I hate to ask it,
Go
but
ahead.
I'm just the guy that asks all the questions. I know. Does that include the vaping side?
vaping.
Yeah, like, if you don't smoke, you vape.
Again, it's blue certified, so there are, you can't smoke in the common areas.
There you go.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
That's
there you go.
awesome.
The storage unit, it's all a la carte depending on what you need. But if you want a storage unit, it's not, okay, I go down to the basement or I go to another.
Yeah, typically
It's-
everything's in the basement or
yeah.
underground here.
It's
It's right down the hallway.
It's on every floor.
We have different
What?
sizes, different prices. Yep, and it's right conveniently right outside your door or down the hall. We also have bike storages available, no charge in the building, inside, outside.
So you really want people to be green that's coming in here, so that way, that's absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
So you drive in, park in your garage downstairs if you want a garage space, or you can park out in the parking lot. You then go to wherever your unit is, and then if your storage, your Christmas stuff, and your out-of-season clothes are just down the hall from your front door.
So convenient.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
That is cool.
And more cost efficient than, say, a storage unit down the street.
Oh, yes, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like, okay, well, I've got to put all these things in boxes under my bed or up in the top of my closet. And no, in the closet space.
We got some great walk-in closets on some of
Oh.
those floor plans.
Mamas are gonna like this. Shoes, got a shoe place.
And washer dryer in each unit.
Each of the apartment homes.
Really, the hookup or an actual washer and dryer?
Actual washers and dryers, energy efficient, space
Wow,
savers.
that makes you green because you're
does.
controlling what's going in because
There you
other
go.
people's stuff is not green.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
true.
No, it's very cool.
Electric plugging for your. It's so I see if I have a Tesla.
Oh, yes, the electric car charging stations will be available on site. Absolutely.
I didn't know that one.
And another one
a
I
big
don't
deal.
think that you know is our iApartments. It's a technology package that we offer to the residents. So
Okay.
you can take your cell phone and you can unlock your front door. You can set your thermostat. You can turn on and off your lights. We also have leak detectors in the apartment. So say there's a leak maybe under your sink, you will get notified. We will get notified, and we'll be able to rectify the situation immediately.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
that's good.
And is that an option or is that?
It's not an option. It's kind of like the valet trash. So you have the trash service that would an additional fee, as well as the iApartments home
Nice.
technology package.
Now, do you have to know that before they move in, lease in, so you can
Absolutely.
go mark? Is
Absolutely.
everything pre-wired and ready, or is it an after fact? Go, okay, if you want it now, we got to go put it in.
Well, we plan to open our buildings in mid-July, so we'll have everything pretty much ready to go by then. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. And you've got the
So if the kids go, hey, I forgot my key.
You can unlock it right there. You can also set a temporary code. So say you have family coming into town for the weekend, you can give them the code. It's a keypad. They can just type it in there. It's a digital touchscreen keypad.
no key lock.
See,
Yeah,
that's
keyless.
where that
That's
works.
awesome.
That's where that works. You rent it for a year, but if you're a snowbird and you say, okay, I'm going to be here for 3 months, and
Right.
then I'm going to have somebody come and visit in the month of July
Yeah, I'm
when
not
I'm not
here.
going to be
Yeah,
here.
exactly,
You
I'm not
can
here.
do, it makes it really
That's
easy.
awesome.
That is awesome.
Okay,
Yep.
so where can everybody get information?
Absolutely. Everyone can go to liveicaria.com. You can apply online. You can see our floor plans there. And on our Facebook is a great place to see our virtual tours. We have lots of videos and photos there as well. And that's just facebook.com liveicaria /
Live Icaria.
liveicaria.com.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm impressed.
I know. I
This is
can't
coming,
wait.
and I hate to say this, but this is in Tarpon.
I know. And it's
You don't think of Tarpon being technology.
yes.
You don't.
And it's right where Mears Street is doing the extension, because that was one of the parts of the stipulation, is they were going to be doing an extension of the Mears Boulevard. What is it? Mears Street.
Boulevard. Mhm. Mears
And so
Boulevard.
they completed that out to where the city was doing it. So that's
That's
another part of it. That's almost done.
It's almost done. Yep, we're looking about that July time frame, and then we'll be able to receive our certificate of occupancies for all the buildings and amenities. And before you know it, within the next couple of months, the city's going to be thriving with life here at Icaria.
I know. And another access to 19, which should cut down all that congestion that you see
Right.
on Alt 19 between Klosterman and that.
Well, I'm
and
that
the-
guy again. Here we go. I know, I hate being that guy. But anyway, we've run out of time, so we'll be back. When we come back, we're going to talk to Miss Jean about what's going on in Tarpon. That's going to be so much fun, so stick around. We'll be
Okay.
right back. Again. Hey everybody, welcome back to the last segment of My Chamber TV, the Tarpon Springs edition. And we'll eventually have chapter numbers and all that kind of stuff for you,
I
just to
know.
make it
Look
even
at-
cooler.
We'll have to go look it up. That would be really cool.
So my question to you, Miss Jean Hungiville, the president and CEO of the Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce, what is going on?
Oh,
and because
look.
I know the last couple of shows we've done, it was really been more about how to deal and all that kind of stuff with our lovely COVID situation. But everybody's back open, kind of.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But, the last couple of segments, which I thought were great because we really had a lot of meat in them, because there was a lot out there for businesses. There's still things out there. They're looking at doing the PPP, an additional one, also Pinellas County. In fact, that's what I was looking at here as we were looking at it. Pinellas County has a grant that is available to apply for before June 1st, which is coming up next week. And if anybody's interested interested, you can give me a call at the chamber, 727-937-6109, or president@tarponsprings.chamber.org, and I will send you the link to that. But it's Pinellas County Small Business Grant. And this is one that's,
Hold on, that phone number's wrong, Rob. I just keep going.
okay, but it's one of those things where this has been out there for a little while, but I
Yeah.
just, the deadline's coming up because they gave everybody a month to do this.
Right.
And, it's one of those, they've got some money. I don't know how much it's going to be giving out. It's up to $5,000 one-time grant.
I'm surprised they have money left.
Well, they haven't given it out yet. What's
okay.
happened in Pinellas County, different from like what Tarpon did with the city,
Right.
gave it out right away. They put this out here, and they put a good window of about 6 weeks, I believe it was, or a month, to apply for it, and it's up to $5,000 per business.
Now, so not to come off of the Tarpon Springs, but just really quick back on the COVID thing. I'm hearing rumors
Okay.
that some of the grants that people have taken are some of the PPP money or the EDIC or EIDC?
EDIL.
EDIL. That was supposed to be if you used it for this and this and then it's not payable back. But even if you use it for those things, they said now all of a sudden the rumors are that they're going to pay that money back.
No.
No. Okay, good.
You just have to keep a really good documentation of what you did and how you did that. And that's something that most business owners are really pretty good at.
Yeah.
They're not going, it sounds great. Rumors are rumors.
Right.
And they're not going to put out information and then turn around and say, oh no, the rules have changed. We're going to now want you to pay it back even though when you applied for it was different.
Right.
You're not going to do that. But we're sorting through a lot of stuff. Again, I've got resources that are sometimes overwhelming. We're still doing the Team of 200, which I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Which, having come from the Virginia State Chamber on that board, I knew that when this all started going on, let's get plugged into the Florida State Chamber and see what's going on.
Right.
Which, when this disaster happened, we were one of the first calls or first people who got the information that we're forming this Team of 200. And I'm absolutely on it. So of the 200 chambers in the state of, or more than 200 chambers in the state of Florida, we were one of the first 200 that every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, we're on a Zoom conference call. It's been going on for 2 months. We had it yesterday. I knew what the governor was going to say before he said it that evening.
Right.
Again, gave information on how is this coming up. This is what we're thinking about doing. Getting our input into all of that was marvelous. The little Tarpon Chamber got a signature on the first PPP letter that went to Senator Rubio's office because they said, you need to be part of this.
Right.
And so the little Tarpon Chamber was one of the first, the 100. I had 120 sign on, and we were number 100 that got to sign on that one.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
that was,
awesome.
I was like, this is great. Yes, our little chamber.
Way to go, Tarpon.
So, it makes us get in the loop. And so when you say there's a rumor of this, it's like, no,
Yeah,
that's rumor.
I'm glad to hear that because there's scuttlebutt going on now that all of a sudden that they changed the rules, and they're like, nope, that's all going to have to be paid back. I understand the whole if you don't use it for what they said to use it
Sure.
for, you will have to pay it back.
Yes.
It is a loan. But if you use it the way you were supposed to be, what it was designed for, it designated for, you were just fine.
And absolutely, but you have to have the documentation of this is how you
Right.
used it. You can't just say, oh yeah, well, here's what it was, and write it down on a piece of scrap paper. No, you've got to really document it because this is a lot of money that was given out, and chambers have even with the various incarnations of it, the 501c6s were never included in that. So I lost $100,000+ with the cancellation of the Fine Arts Festival. We've just buckled our belts, and we're going to be really, really conservative for the next couple of years to be able to cover that shortfall for this year's budget. And luckily we had some reserves we've been building up for the last couple of years, and we've been fiscally very, very responsible. So we're going to weather it out. It's just going to be painful. I'm going to be doing a lot of work that I had not planned to do because we're not filling one of our key staff positions for events that vacated well before this that I
Right.
was interviewing for. Just not going to do that. So
Right.
we'll be, we'll get through it. This is not going to take us
There's
down.
nothing wrong with leaning up a little bit.
Yes.
There really isn't. I mean, if this whole thing taught us anything, it taught us how to run leaner.
Yes.
And most people go, I can't do it that way. It's never been done that way. And then next thing you know, wow, I could do it that way.
Yes.
And if I can do it that way, why not? Am I not seeing what else that I can go, let me run a little leaner maybe to save more money? And, hey, because they say in the first 5 years of your business, you don't ever make any money. That's the general rule of thumb. But that's because you're running fat. You're running with everything you think you need.
And you haven't figured out
what I don't need.
What's the essentials
to run a little leaner. And wow, I mean, some businesses coming out of the gate, if they do reopen their doors, go, okay, look, you know what? Just for instance, and Jason Schofield from Hive taught me this. He goes, all these restaurants that are paying for Uber and all this kind of stuff, they can pay that other extra $600 worth of insurance themselves, and then have an on staff 2 people that are there that can run.
Oh, interesting.
And take and bring back that money that they're paying Uber and Lyft and all these DoorDash. Just by paying that extra chunk, a little extra money for their insurance, now those people that they can have drive can go drive and deliver the food, then come back and they do their stuff while they need them. I'm like, well,
multitasking.
That's genius. Granted, having all that stuff. So yeah, we're learning to run leaner.
Yes. And we're going to be readjusting our newsletter.
Right.
People are used to getting the newsletter on Monday. We haven't had the newsletter in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, simply because we're not doing our events.
Right.
And the events are, people are getting tired of virtual happy hours. And
I did one, and I'll never do it again.
It's just, you get to the point where it's like, okay, we've got to come up with something new. Tarpon has events that have been canceled or postponed through the middle of July, excuse me. So, Wine Walk has been canceled. That was in July. We've got Hippie, I think it was Hippie Fest that was coming up, or one of the on the docks.
Right.
Those are all canceled. First Fridays are canceled because of just the crowds and people, getting out. So we've got to figure out, when you're running an organization that relies on networking and
Right.
relies on interaction, we've got to figure out how to do it better, do it differently. Zoom, yes, I'm on Zoom at 10 o'clock every Tuesday morning with the Florida Chamber, every Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock with the all the chambers in Pinellas County. All 11 of us get on there. We've now gone to every other, and then those of us in northern Pinellas are filling in on the other part because we have an event we're trying to figure out, a Summer Splash.
Right.
And then on Fridays, we've got another Zoom conference with someone from the governor's staff, usually at 3 o'clock. So it's like, okay, we've got all this information, then funneling it out as needed and synthesized down. I don't want to get on a Zoom happy hour. I don't want to get on a Zoom breakfast.
Yeah, we've been using Zoom forever. It's nothing new for us. So we've been using it for almost 5 years now. So to us, it's like, Zoom's always been there. Just saying. It's always been there.
And, it's interesting because my executive committee meets the second Monday of every month, or just before the board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like race to get a face-to-face meeting so we can interact. We started using Zoom, and I thought, this is great because we get started on time. It's much more efficient.
That's another thing that should have been done a long time ago.
It should have. And part of that is my fault, because I'm a people person, and I want to sit
Right.
and eyeball you and figure out the body language and all of that. Board meetings, we've gone to that as well. We can probably start to do maybe only a quarterly board meeting in person and the rest of them on Zoom. It's a variety of different things that I think
makes it way easier.
much more efficient.
When I sat on that board, if we would have had that capability back then, which we didn't have, I'd have done that in a heartbeat. It was, other than stuff that I know at one point in time where I had to go and I was a signature, so that's different. But having a board meeting, I'm just sitting in at my desk instead of me leaving, because it's to drive there. It's there. Of course, when you're there, you're going to chit chat and gab, so it takes longer than to drive back or log on at 12, be done by 1 o'clock, 1:30. I didn't interrupt my day. My employees were still able to get a hold of me, if an emergency came up.
Sure.
So it just makes it
You'll
just
be
makes
happy to know our board meetings are 1 hour.
Right. So, okay, so this is opinion. I want your opinion. When do you think we'll become a society where we can actually have an event in Tarpon?
Ooh. I wish I could answer that because I'm finding that I have trouble with focus sometimes right now because I'm looking at, we're an event-driven chamber as well, but not huge, just the one big huge event. But it's like events are the breakfasts and the
your
lunches
bread and butter.
and that's
Right.
and getting
Ribbon cuttings.
Ribbon cuttings. I can't do a ribbon cutting because people aren't comfortable. I talked to the mayor's office, and could we do a ribbon cutting with 6 people, one on either end of the ribbon, 2 people who own the restaurant, the mayor, and then me taking the picture, and with all of us with masks on. And we determined, and discussing it, that's just not a very positive thing
It's not,
to do.
yeah.
And I went, okay, that makes sense. But I was feeling for one of our new restaurants that has just opened, who's doing actually very well, despite the fact that they haven't really been open. They've been doing only carry-out.
Right.
So I just thought something positive. But as we walked through it, it really isn't positive. So I'm maybe by the end of summer.
I was thinking October, November.
Yeah, and our city manager is erring on the side of being conservative.
Yep.
Bless him, because that's really, really important. And when the county says this,
Yep.
and it's like Governor Santos. The country said restaurants can open at 50%, and he said, no, I think we'll have the restaurants open at 25%. And after a couple of weeks realized, okay, this has been somewhat successful, let's go ahead and do the 50% with
Right.
all of this, because it is economically necessary, but also just baby steps.
Right.
Tarpon's doing the same thing.
Which is good.
Mark LaCourse is doing an amazing job of keeping an eye on what's going on, keeping people safe, and the love of the city is what really, really drives it. The city buildings aren't open yet, so my tourism center isn't open, but the chamber's open. Businesses are open, but the city, the employees are in there. You can drive up to pay your bills, or you can call and get information and make an appointments. But people walking in and out, not comfortable yet.
All right. Well, we're out of time.
Oh my goodness!
I know it flies by, doesn't it? And look, if you want more information, just call Jean. And just call her. Go to the website. It's all there. She's probably got one of the most informative websites around here for her chambers. So thank you for watching. We appreciate it. You can always watch this again if you're just catching the end of it. It's always on my WeBeamTV.com. Go to the chamber section, the show, and then choose Tarpon Springs and rewatch it all you want, or you can even watch it on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you for watching today, and we will see everybody next week
month
on My Chamber TV.